Skip? Skippy? You back there? Lottie? Did I leave breakfast at home?
Buttons.
No, I look like I'm all good.
Taste one. Buttons.
Someone, and everybody loves somebody, but not just anyone. If you ain't looking, you might just as well be blind, 'cause it's so easy to love, but it's so hard to find.
How bloody beautiful is this? I've stopped about 3 times coming up the Goldie Spur track already. It's absolutely horrendous because I'm about 1/100th of the way into this journey, but I just can't help myself at this point in time. Even just taking in the visual splendour of this mild view as you look down the high transmission power line. I always stop at a place like this when I'm up in high country, remote areas, and wonder how they went about building these towers that hold the cables and pull the cables into place. I mean, there'd be a fascinating documentary on that just alone. And there probably is somewhere in the world, I just don't know about it. Good job for Google one day. One thing to be wary about, so far anyway, on this Goldie Spur track is that there is plenty of bull dust about. So, if you've got sensitive gear in the back, make sure you don't have sensitive gear in the back because it's going to get coated in dust. Case in point. Look at this hazy bandwidth of what could be low-lying cloud, but is actually the bull dust off the road from my vehicle a good 5 to 10 minutes ago. This is not the sort of track you want to get stuck behind another vehicle, let me assure you. Nothing like the sound of crackling high voltage transmission lines early on in the morning, just to invigorate the mind after a healthy session of alcohol at the Bright Brewery the night before. Yeah, feeling the energy today. Come on Lolo, please get me through this. Hold the line! Hold the line! Ah, those ARB old emu stocks really coming to the fore here. Nothing to worry about here, Matt Stewart. Back down, boys. One thing about this four-wheel drive trip is that yes, definitely need a four-wheel drive. You definitely need at least dual grip tyres, and something else I've just discovered coming down the ridgeline a bit is you need a walker gear. That is a low range four-wheel drive. Olay! This is proper big country now. I feel like we've been seeing it back here, but this is the real deal. We're between Scotchman's Creek Track and Schultz Track. I see nothing. This is borderline Swiss Alps style territory, Roscoe. Okay, probably not quite that good, but pretty epic. Loving it. Forested hills and ranges for as far as the eye can see. If you go off the trail here, bring your topographical map and the compass. You're gonna need it. That's Beveridge Station just through there. And I wish I had time to explore it, but unfortunately there is no time. So here we are, partway up the Blue Rag Range track, en route to the trig point at the top of the peak, just up this way. We must have about another kilometre to 2 kilometres going, judging by the last time we checked when we were about 4Ks, 2Ks that way. Does all that make sense? Anyway, like there has been on the circuit loop we took out of the Buckland Valley, there are tremendous views from the ridge lines as you come up over the crest looking back down on the track. One thing I will say, it's May 1 today, absolutely picture perfect conditions. It's quite heavy with four-wheel drive. Traffic on the track at the moment, there's clearly this amount of traffic from probably videos like this one and social media photos and all the rest of that. And so it builds up an audience of people that want to one day come here and they remember Blue Rag Range track. Well, this is just one track amongst many in the high country, and I think the circuit loop we took to come out here via the Buckland Valley was a classic example of that, where there's plenty of road across many ridge lines to take in vistas that are very similar to this one, but they don't have that brand label associated to them. And in some ways it's a more enjoyable experience getting up a road like that, where you don't see another car or four-wheel drive for potentially hours at a time, as opposed to this quite famous short strip of track where there's four-wheel drives coming and going the whole time. Now some days that mightn't be a thing. You're happy to talk to people and bump into others as you go along, but I guess if you're looking for nature, peace and quiet, solitude, this is probably not the piece of track you'd seek out for that kind of thing.
Blue Rag was
good views.
It's a nice trek in. It was short and sharp to the trig point. For the uninitiated, that's the trigonometry point that surveyors use.
And it was just annoying how many people come to the trig point. It was it was annoying.
It took us 6 hours to get to the trig point.
We wanted to put up 2 drones.
It took us 6 hours to get to the trig point. The trig point was like 3 kilometres.
Yeah, I know.
I was actually at trig point so long waiting for you guys. I made and lost lifelong friends in that period. So I had the fortunate experience of catching up with a bloke who'd done 45 years aerial spotting and looking at the mountains and having him tell me about all of them. All that I could think of at that time was, these mountains don't move very much from year to year. This would, if ever there were a perfect place to put one of those little plaques with arrows pointing to the different mounts, this would be it. I've seen them on other hills, and you can barely discern them through the trees in the distance. This one, Trig Point, on the Blue Rag Range, council, get your act together and get a plaque up there.
Alpine Council.
Alpine?
Alpine.
Alpine Council.
You call it Alpine?
Matt? Where's Matt?
Alp.
Oh, the other Matt.
Nathan.
You're here. Nathan. Nat. I said Matt. Are you listening? Nat.
Who's shout for the jug?
Is this microphone working? Nat.
Who the f*** you go?
Yeah.
My whole life.
Taste one. Taste one? Really?
What the f*** were all of you talking about just then? 'Cause I'm
Buttons.
desperate to know.
Well, it's, yeah,
Hit me.
I feel like we're
see
gonna.
me again after this night. You have a moment to invite a stranger into your conversation.
I feel like we're gonna
Well, I
disappoint
don't think we
you.
invited
Mel.
you, but you were in. That's
Oh,
good.
wait.
I love it.
Good point. I did push that. You invited me.
Taste
I
one.
pushed in on your conversation. For one fleeting moment, tell me, what were you talking about?
Nick.
Buttons.
Literally?
Commander Papdog, we're detecting a rising plane. Check altitude and course correct. Commander, motion sensors appear to be disengaged. Switch to cine mode immediately.
Buttons. I forgot to jingle. Buttons. Mate!
Oh, I know, I'm the one f***ing up. I was stoked. I was mentally ready that time.
I was starting thinking about should I do that? Okay, stop.
Nah, just normal face.
I've got it.